Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is number 296 for August 18th, 2020, and I am Nemesis, and I'm joined by Alca7raz.
Hello.
Once again, more Pony Life stuff has come out. A little tiny bit of news, not really a whole lot. Thankfully, nothing really dramatic this time around.
Yeah.
Got a couple comics. Yeah, comics are kind of finally back.
Yes.
They're
finally
back. And we got a little bit of fan content at the end to wrap it all up. So we'll go ahead and just get started with some news. And if you want to follow along, go to pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. That's spelled Libsyn. So we'll go ahead and get started with some convention stuff. Ponyfest Online 4.0 is hitting on September 19th, so a little over a month or so from now. Alicon has announced that they've canceled all plans for 2020. I believe this is the one that was trying to do the hybrid convention.
Yeah.
And now they just completely canceled everything because, well, they can't, because it's partially because travel's super restricted.
Mm-hmm.
And Everfree Northwest has opened their hotel registration as of a few days ago. If there's still available rooms, I don't know.
Yeah. Good luck getting a Thursday night. Those ones sell out
Real quick.
like almost instantly. The other three are more available. But yeah, jump on that quickly if you can.
This is for next August in 2021.
Yep.
And in fandom and other news, Main 6 has revealed a new character for them's fighting herds, Shanty the Pirate Goat.
Yes, we got a goat.
It revealed with some music that sounds suspiciously like Donkey Kong Country, but no, shut up, it's just legally distinct.
I actually haven't listened to the music yet. I've been rather busy, but yeah.
And in Pony Life news, more Pony Life clips have hit YouTube. Yep, I believe one or two of these are new and haven't aired yet as of this recording, but probably will have aired by the time you hear it. I don't know. And more episode titles have been revealed, actually. Don't Look a GIF Horse in the Mouth. The root of it.
They pronounce it right.
Yes, it has to be because, well, that's the pun on gift. Anyway,
Yep.
The root of it. And The Mysterious Voice / The 5 Habits of Highly Effective Ponies, although Seth apparently is really bad at copy-pasting like usual.
Like usual. Yes.
And of course doesn't provide a source, like usual.
Of course.
Of course there's no source, because this is a horse website.
Why a horse, of course.
Yeah, because I suspect it's a pun on the 5 Habits of Highly Effective People, so highly effective ponies.
Yeah.
That's my suspicion.
They really like their puns.
Yes.
Pony Life titles seem to be a lot more punny.
I don't know. There are a lot of the puns for Friendship is Magic are pretty funny as well.
They were, but I think just percentage-wise.
Well, as of right, that's largely because, well, there's way less episodes of Pony Life than Friendship is Magic. Remember, there's 200-something episodes there.
True.
Versus, what? How many now? Like 20?
Less than, yeah.
If that?
We have 22 announced.
Right. Anyway, that's the news. Like I said, not a whole lot, thankfully. And nothing hyper dramatic. What?
The fandom wiki has more episode titles.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Game Night, Director Spike's Mockumentary,
Oh, yeah.
Hoof Done It, and Dear Tabby.
There you go, yeah. Okay, that just means the Equestria Day is really slow.
When has that been ever new?
Anyway, that's the news. Go ahead and move on to some comics, because 2 of them came out in the last 2 weeks. Yes, they're back.
Yes.
Although one of them I'm annoyed because it was supposed to, all 4 of the issues are supposed to come out in 1 month. I was going to have a big old podcast where I can just babble on about Transformers and he couldn't stop me. Because
I couldn't
I'm on
stop
top.
you.
It's like, see, we're getting off topic. No, we're not. It's
Yes,
Oh, no.
I couldn't stop you, but apparently 2020 could.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you can probably figure from that out. Yeah, the first thing we're talking about is the Transformers My Little Pony Friendship in Disguise crossover. And yep, it starts off with just a little introduction for the characters because, well, there's a chance that people might be crossover from one fandom to another and not know the characters. And yeah,
Roll call.
It starts with a big old storm in Equestria because Chrysalis is doing evil things once again. And then also you got on Cybertron, the Autobots and Decepticons are fighting as per usual, and there's a malfunctioning space bridge interferes with Chrysalis's magic spell, and she accidentally brings a bunch of Transformers over to Equestria. And then, well, they all meet each other in various ways.
Yeah, they'll get split up.
Mm-hmm. And most of this issue mostly is Rarity and RC. Grand majority of it, but not all of it, but majority of it. But yeah, I'm really enthralled with this. I really like this. Well, there's always that worry because it would all go to crap. Because crossovers can be very tricky, especially when something so different, two franchises so different from one another crossover. You have to basically, which they did here, you have to basically acknowledge it's inherently ridiculous and roll with that.
Yep.
And they did that, I feel. You got Twilight meeting Optimus and, seeing his compassion and friendship with Bumblebee and like, oh yeah, you must be good and whatnot. And Chrysalis and Megatron meeting and Chrysalis standing on a tank laughing triumphantly. Of course, Starscream, just immediately just indulging in his ego before getting, literally kicked in the face.
Yep. I don't even know Transformers all that well, and I know Starscream and his ego is just a thing.
Yep. And of course, Starscream being defeated in a very humiliating fashion, because that's just how you deal with Starscream.
Yep.
It's great. So far it's just introduction stuff. The only thing I would really criticize is Tony Fleece is the artist for this one, and what is it? Okay, writer is James Asmus. He does Transformers stuff mostly. It's pretty much him doing Transformers stuff and has been pretty well regarded for Transformers. The artist is Tony Fleece and colors Tony Fleece and letters by Jake M. Wood and color flats by Lauren Perry. And that's the initial thing. And then there's the other part, which is written by Ian Flynn, artist Jack Lawrence, and colors Luis Antonio Delgado and letterer by Neil Uitake. And I would say the biggest thing is Tony Fleece's artwork of the Transformers is at times. It's kind of clear he's gotten really used to drawing ponies and not much else, because some of his artwork is a little off. Particularly the Transformers look a little weird sometimes. The ponies are on point, but the Transformers are like
He has been doing a lot of pony lately.
Yeah, but the other let's see, who was the other artist? Jack Lawrence did a pretty darn good job in his part, for sure. I mean, the Transformers are really on point, and the ponies are on point as well. So, that part's much better, I feel.
Definitely good job.
Yeah.
My biggest worry. This is only 4 episodes, right?
4 issues, yeah.
4 issues. This one definitely feels like an introduction, but since we've only introduced a couple characters, I'm worried like every single issue is going to feel like an introduction with different characters. And it's like, okay, I spent so long having to introduce the characters in only 4 episodes. Now it wasn't enough time to really add much meat to the story.
I don't think so. I think this is going to work out pretty well. The introductions themselves actually... Well, it's largely is character driven, because we got the ponies and Transformers talking to each other, and I feel that works out pretty well. It's like you're not going to get a whole lot of actiony stuff, despite the fact it's Transformers, is because,
it would be really cool to see it though.
Yeah, we're getting some action. We got RC fighting Decepticons and whatnot, and Rarity helping out, and RC actually being all cute because Rarity complimented her. Yeah, I think
I'm just wondering if they have enough episodes in order to do proper introductions and more interesting things. But I don't think, because I don't know. This is only the first episode.
I'm trying to remember the issue. You keep saying episode.
Yeah, I do keep saying episode. Sorry, issue. This is going to be a constant with me.
I know there's going to be stuff like, I know down the line apparently Spike and Grimlock are going to be interacting with each other. I think Pinky is supposed to be fighting Shockwave at some point, that's going to be great, because Shockwave is all about logic and Pinky is nothing logic.
Nothing. It's just going to be...
It's going to be funny.
That's going to be an ordeal.
Or it's going to fall fast. But anyway, also I know down the line Optimus and Twilight are going to be doing a bunch of stuff together, so that's going to be pretty great too. I also like how they introduce things. It's like you got Quibble just sitting there complaining about crossovers.
Rather self-referential, yes.
Yes. It's just supposed to be fun. And also the other thing, which was, as people probably know, is introducing Equestria with the Transformers font and Cybertron with the Pony font. that was just a nice little thing. So, yeah, I really like this. I really like this.
I think it's interesting, and I'd like to see more. But I'm gonna, I can't judge anything until I see the whole thing.
This is the thing right now. This first issue, if this is how the rest of it could, I believe it's the same writers for pretty much the entire thing. So if this is how it's going to be, I am super excited for the rest of this. I've been looking forward to this, and I was not disappointed, for sure. Yeah, at this point, I personally recommend at least checking out this first issue and probably the rest of it. But yeah, that's me. No bias.
I would say spoken like a true Transformers fan.
No, but if I was Transformers fan, I'd hate it.
Well, here's what I would also say. From what I've heard of Transformers fans, they would hate it regardless because it's Transformers. And again, no one hates Transformers
they wouldn't hate it because
more.
They are the G1 characters. The only thing they'd hate is Windblades in it.
Oh. Because no one hates Transformers more than Transformers fans.
No, they'd be happy that's G1 characters. They'd hate the fact it's ponies, and they'd hate the fact Windblade apparently is going to be prominent.
Oh.
And probably someone would complain about the fact that Starscream got defeated by Fabric, but others would be like, that's Starscream, though. That's supposed to be how it goes.
How many complaints because of RC?
Not very many, because she's G1 character.
Many?
She was in the movie, so she's fine. She gets a pass.
Okay, she gets a pass because she's in G1. They'll overlook the fact that there's a girl character.
Yeah, because it's G1, it's the RC, so it's fine. They've complained it's a Windblade, and it's like, why not Elita 1 or something? Because she's G1, and it's just... Yeah. There's a whole thing. I don't want to get into that because it's stupid.
It is.
But yeah, that's the Transformers crossover. I want more right now.
Well, you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at that Back to the Future crossover of Transformers. Oh man, that's going to be great. But anyway, the other comic...
That is off topic and you can't talk about
it. That's what I said. That's why I'm saying anyway. The other comic is My Little Pony, The Friendship is Magic, Season 10, Episode 1. Yeah.
Yep.
At least I believe the first part of episode 1, because the way they're doing it, I believe it's going to be 2 comics per episode type of thing is their idea. I think. I can't remember for certain. But this was written by Jeremy Whitley with art by Andy Price and the colors by Heather Breckel. And yeah, it's basically Twilight's first sunrise, as leader of Equestria and all that stuff. So yeah, it takes place shortly after season 9, but before the epilogue of the series.
Takes place... obviously before that.
Yeah, because you got basically there's gonna be a whole Twilight sending her friends off to do the whole friendship thing because she's kind of stuck being queen here, all that stuff. Yeah, and she seems a little disappointed once again. And
princess, not queen.
Whatever, queen, princess. I remember in the epilogue they referred to her as queen or something. That she's supposed to be queen.
Well, it's still princess here.
I don't know. Anyway. She's sending her friends off and various things. I believe this is the setup that we're going to catch up with all their various adventures throughout season 10. But we're starting off with Applejack, Tempest, Rockhoof, and Zecora. And Zecora, and they're going to the zebra homeland. And Zecora is not happy to the point of she stops rhyming in anger, out of her in sheer anger.
So angry she stops rhyming.
That's how you know. But anyway,
that's how you know.
Anyway, they go sail there and get there, and Zecora's even less happy once they actually do get there and all that stuff. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting setup for sure.
Definitely an interesting setup. Definite potential, I would say.
Yeah, potential.
Although, do have one complaint, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, so we see some bits of Zecora's past here and there showing up, and Zecora not reacting well to it. Definitely new species we have not seen before. This is basically, hey, the whole thing like, hey, we never actually got zebra stuff really in the show, so let's do it here. My biggest complaint is just had to introduce a massive Gilligan's Island reference. Just that was pretty frequent, I guess. Overstayed its welcome.
Was it the ragamuffin?
Yeah.
No.
Ragamuffin.
I don't know Gilligan's Island.
I just recognize the outfit. That's Gilligan.
So
that's the Gilligan outfit. And yeah, Cranky's dressed as the skipper from Gilligan's Island.
I didn't catch the reference.
And it's just, I feel like that's a little too much. It's like, the show did its references, but usually for the most part didn't try to go that long with them.
I didn't catch the reference because I don't know Gilligan's Island other than the fact that it exists. I couldn't identify much from it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was something going on with that character just because of how many times they referenced it. So I was more like, since I didn't catch the reference, I was more confused as to what this was supposed to be.
Oh, Ragamuffin from the Equestria Girls.
Oh, right.
The male Applejack who had the fake.
But I knew there was something, like, because the constant reference to the accent, which was kind of interesting, but they did kept referencing it, and it felt a little odd.
Yeah. There was this, they're referencing the Spring Breakdown.
Yeah, I remember, I now remember that. Through the whole thing, like, Rarity is oddly attracted to this total Applejack
Orange
duplicate.
pony with blonde hair. Different accent. Also, his freckles keep disappearing in this comic, I just noticed.
Oh yeah, looking at that too.
Yeah, we definitely got a new zebra character.
Yep.
What was the name? I'm trying to remember. They saw it. Marini.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up two different names.
Yeah, Marini was the new zebra that was introduced. Yeah, we know something happens to cause the Korra to just not want to be here anymore, because, yeah.
Yep.
No, Raku kind of being a lovable dolt.
Rakuf is great.
Yep.
They're on a boat. The heck am I gonna do with a shovel?
Yeah.
And then he finds something and he's so happy.
With a shovel. Also, Tempest just being kind of
Tempest is a grump.
Yep, grumpy.
A serious grump. And I don't think it is, but I wouldn't be too surprised. But you know who else is really grumpy and tends to be attached to Tempest a lot in the Phantom?
Oh.
I don't. I'm probably looking way too much into this, but I see Scope and Tempest.
Oh, yeah.
Scope likes Tempest, and Scope's a grump, and they tend to, when commission art, they're both a grump, so I don't know if that's a connection. Probably looking too much into it.
Yeah. Also, they acknowledged Lyra Bond.
They did, right in the beginning.
Blatantly.
It's great.
Congratulations. And those two are going to be traveling together with Rainbow Dash. Well, when that happens, you're probably going to be happy because it's Rainbow Dash and Spitfire and the pirates from the movie and Lyra Bond. Unless they blow it.
Unless they blow it. I mean, that's always an option.
I'm just worried. It's like, hey, we're not going to really see much Twilight. That's my big worry right now.
Yeah, because Twilight's not one of the group. Because she's got to stay back and manage things.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get, an episode about what's going on. We get, an episode. Yes, I'm going to call it an episode because they're calling them episodes. I get to do it this time.
I get to do it, not be wrong. Now you're going to call them issues frequently watched. You're just calling this is the one time you'll get it right and call them issues.
Watch it do that. That would just be perfect.
Too perfect.
That would be on par.
Yeah, well, there's one thing. I really like this one joke about Spike. It's just, it's like, what was it? He's sitting there fretting while reading a book. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. Doggone it. People like me. And also these, my friends, these 5 ponies and Spike.
And Spike. And Zoidberg.
Save my friends and Zoidberg.
And Zoidberg. All right. Obviously, we've got a whole bunch of new lore.
Yep.
The name of the place they're going, I'm trying to find it. They say a whole bunch. It's like Farisi?
Farisian Coast, isn't it?
Farisian. I keep reading it as Farsi, but that's a real thing.
Yeah.
It might be a reference. I don't know. Yeah, the Farisian Coast. And once they get there, we actually get the name of the towns. They land. The docks are part of Casablanco. But the actual town, Zebrat, is the capital.
I see.
Yes. The home of Prince Abraxas.
Yep. Who Tempest may or may not turn to stone.
One of the 4 princes of Farsi.
Yeah.
So they've quickly established that whole thing. And yes, I love that joke afterwards.
Yep, okay. So yeah, it's got an interesting setup, but
definitely an interesting setup. Like I mentioned, I did have one concern.
Mm-hmm.
We did introduce a bunch of new characters.
Oh yeah, a bunch of new characters.
And some of them look like bad OCs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Some of them kind of do.
Yeah, Dust Devil, Cactus Rose, Medley, Brook, and Crystal.
Yep. So I have no idea what Dust Devil or Cactus Rose is.
Right.
Medley Book is a Kelpie.
Clearly.
They say she's a Kelpie. She says it. And I'm not entirely certain what Crystal is. Might be...
Crystal Zebra.
Yeah, it looks like a zebra. Definitely different designs, but possibly another zebra. But obviously we can get very different designs on zebras, as we know.
They don't all look the same.
They don't look the same. Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's quite poignant. I would say. Yes, as they tend to be an analog for...
At least the fandom has made them an analog.
As I was about to say, within fandom works.
Yeah, interesting, but I'm not sure yet, because this is only part of the story so far, and I remember we both had the trepidations going into Season 10 comics, so I'm not sure yet.
It could go so many ways.
Yep, it depends
in
on...
one way, it's bad. In one way, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could go horribly.
Mm-hmm.
But there is the chance that it could be really good.
Yep.
One thing, like I said, they opened up a huge avenue for lore and world building, which for me is really cool. I love lore and world building. So I'm hoping it's good, but I also know it might... I've been hurt before. I've had them go, we're going to have this lore and world building, and then it's like, nothing. Thanks.
Thanks, I hate it.
Promised me the world and gave me nothing.
Yep.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
With a slight bit of caution. But I am mostly optimistic looking at this. I still think some of the new characters look like bad OCs, but who knows? They could be fine.
And they could also be terrible. We don't know.
But yes, they could be absolutely terrible, or they could be, completely nothing.
I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
We shall. We definitely shall.
I'm still just a little hesitant about the whole, hey, his whole thing's over, now we're just going to keep extending it because money.
Because we don't want to get rid of our cash cow.
Yep. Well, we also want to don't want to keep this cash cow around, but we also want to make a new cash cow at the same time. So we'll see. So that's the comics. Actually went on for a long time. Usually our reviews are very short, but this is totally different because different situation.
Yeah, very different style of comics going on here. These Season 10 comics, it did feel longer than your standard issues.
Notice it's $1 more.
So.
Look at it. Look at the price. It's $1 more than usual.
This one doesn't actually have it because this is the retailer incentive.
Yeah, I got the normal version. It's $4.99 instead of $3.99.
Ah. Yeah, I have the retailer incentive.
I think it is a little longer.
So it felt longer. I like that. I liked it being longer.
Right, so we'll go ahead and move on, though, to the Pony Life stuff.
Pony Life.
What a downgrade.
Ouch.
So, yeah, it's once again 4 episodes of sorts of the new thing that happened over the last few weeks. And let's see, the new ones are Potion Mystery, in which, they're trying to figure out who's actually stocking the potions at Sugar Cube Corner. And failing at it. Sick Day, in which, Pinky gets sick, despite the fact she's supposed to be making cupcakes for Celestia, and they quarantine her, and they try to do it in her place, although they keep falling one by one to the sickness to get down with it. And then you got Meet Potion Nova, where finally the potion creator reveals herself, Potion Nova. She makes the potions, and she's super cool and everything. I'll get back to that one. Pony Surfing Safari, in which they find the Potion Ocean, and they wind up in the the analog for Bermuda Triangle. I don't remember what they called it now, but they get trapped in that for a bit, thanks to Applejack. And then All Bottled Up, which is the new the new title of the bottle episode, because I guess they said that was a little too on the nose, and so they just recycled the title from Strange Is Magic, in which Applejack and Twilight gets trapped in the bottle of a potion, and then Twilight doesn't want to leave because turns out she feels safer there or something. And Applejack has to pep talk her.
She's avoiding something.
And she's avoiding things. It's safer there where she just can avoid things forever. And then All That Jitters, in which that's the one where Twilight and Potion Nova are together working on potions because Twilight's now Potion Nova's apprentice, I guess. iCookie, which that was the one with the cookies in it. Pinkie makes cookies of her versions of her friends and then sets them free. And then Keynote Pie, which Pinkie has to deliver a keynote speech in order to get investors in Sugar Cube Corner.
Yeah.
Again, very all over the place.
All over the place. We had sort of an arc again. The whole potion.
The Potion Nova is the big thing here. The new character.
Brand new character.
We knew about because of the toys, but I don't really like her, to be honest. She just kind of shows up and is super cool and suave and
bit of a Mary Sue.
Yeah, this is the time, one of the few times I would honestly say that term is kind of almost justified.
Yeah.
She's a little too good. And her big flaw? She can't dance. That's very much it's too much, honestly. That wasn't really introduced as her big flaw.
Yeah. That was just kind of an offhand, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, because
as a sort of a
remember, that's how a lot of Mary Sues are. It's like the one weakness they have is something kind of largely inconsequential.
Yeah. But I don't know, there could be another one. Because the way they introduced the can't dance was kind of just an offhand.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean.
It wasn't, it was, this is something to help Twilight with nerves.
Yeah.
So it was, the way it was introduced may not be like that. But who knows? Maybe not.
How her weakness is introduced to make another character feel better about her own flaws. Because she's helping another character because she's so great at it's something about her rubs me the wrong way. Everything about her just screams bad as self-insert in fanfic, and that's what it feels like with her. And
it does kind of feel that way.
I'm concerned because is she going to become? She's becoming a major character in this, isn't she? I'm a little concerned about that. They also had a bit of a joke. There was one joke that really stands out, which is we used to go on adventures and talk about lore and what happened.
That was hilarious and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it did. It would be great if we had that again, huh?
Yeah. And then Twilight we're going on an adventure. Yeah, here it is. Here's the adventure. Oh, they just walked there.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. Some of the episodes, once again, felt weirdly somehow less cohesive than some of the other ones. Other ones I find mediocre, but still there's cohesion there. There's some of this the Bermuda Triangle one was just odd. No one can escape, and then somehow we escape through. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that was. What was that? Pony Surfing Safari?
Yeah.
Applejack wants to spend time. Yeah. Applejack just wants to hang out together, and then they get sucked into the Bermuda Triangle alternate dimension thing, and then they escape just through sheer willpower.
Magic of friendship.
Yep.
Because Applejack figures out that somehow that just magic of friendship will fix this, and again, this is another one of those. This feels very much like suffered because of the length of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Although also the bottle episode had the little thing. Yeah, all Bottle Up had literally just a little. You could call that a bottle episode or whatever.
Yep, rather on the nose meta. I love meta references when they're done right, and not just kind of. That was kind of lame.
The iCookie was odd.
iCookie was weird.
I was half expecting those little cookie people to start attacking Pinkie.
Yeah, it's most of it made sense. It was okay.
It turned out to be evil or something.
But I was expecting something more, or because there's all the theories it started the raining right after that, right after they sent the cookies out.
Oh god, they're melting.
They die? No clue. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of ends there. Not really, but then they show up and.
Yeah, the rest of the main six show up. The whole reason because Pinkie made them because she was bored and none of the other main six could hang out with her.
Yeah, they're all busy. So she was lonely and bored.
So she somehow made magic talking cookies.
Well, she used the weird duplicator thing that Twilight made from an earlier episode.
Which
continuity.
This is weird. But anyway,
it's
these magic
We don't
talking
have to
cookies
explain
that
it.
she eventually lets free. If you love something, set it free. Yeah.
Uh,
That was a strange one. I'm not sure if that was a good one or not, but it was just strange. It was notable just for its
it was
strangeness.
weird. So was Keynote Pie.
Keynote Pie really felt like they were trying to make jokes about tech conferences
Apple.
and Apple but they didn't
Yeah.
really know how to do it.
Yeah, that one just felt weird.
Forced
and kind
almost.
of. Yeah. I think out of all of them, Keynote Pie is not very high on my list out of these set. because it was just what? Okay. At least some of the rest of them, at least had some of a point.
Keynote Pie was just odd.
Keynote Pie was just
Again, it felt very
odd.
forced. Like they had an idea and they're trying to make it work and just wasn't working, but they didn't give up on it.
Yep. Sometimes it's best if you have an idea but it's not working. Come up with a different idea and let that one sit until you find a way to make it work.
Only thing we learned
Don't force it.
Only thing we learned from Keynote Pie is Spike is bad with his money.
Apparently. How does he get that money though? He's got his hoard somewhere.
He just steals it.
Where does he get them gems?
It's none of your damn business.
Yeah. So, yet again, another mixed bag.
Yeah.
A lot of meh, a lot of going on.
I just
will say,
know.
All bottled up. So they reuse the episode, but may have actually been a better episode. Remember, Friendship is Magic, All Bottled Up was not a great episode. It was not a great episode either, so yeah.
Yeah, this is a strange end, and Potion Nova is not going to help things. The other thing is, which is finally pointed out to me, I think the problem is I have not been totally paying attention like I should have been, and the people finally noticing, animation errors galore.
And wings keep appearing and disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, characters, usually if a character is supposed to have, if they're supposed to have wings, they always have their wings.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some mistakes, but what I've been noticing a lot is that wings keep appearing on characters that shouldn't have them.
And disappearing on them that should. Seems like they have a universal puppet, or whatever, and the problem is they keep forgetting to turn off the toggles.
Yep, which, I mean, even Friendship is Magic had, they use the same basic puppets.
Alicorn Rarity, I remember that one.
Yeah, and that's how they work. It's usually like Flash or whatnot. I
believe this is supposed to be Toon Boom.
Yeah, Toon Boom is what they started using, and either way, you have your puppets, and you apply things to them, and then you duplicate or do your color changes on them. I'm not a Flash animator or Toon Boom animator, so I don't know the details. But yeah, usually you have your puppets you use for everyone because that saves huge amounts of time. But you're supposed to, double check that you have turned off the layers you're not supposed to have.
Yep.
Like the wings.
Mm-hmm. And Potion Nova is a unicorn, and here's the weird thing. She keeps getting wings constantly.
Yep. It also doesn't help that she likes to levitate herself with magic too.
Yeah.
So, which I mean is fine. Unicorns can do that. Like there was one, I can't remember which episode it was, but when I walked in, she's basically doing a forced levitation, eyes closed, kind of floating. But it's got all the magic effects, and she doesn't have her wings. Which, okay, that's fine. But then just having her be an alicorn is just...
The most egregious one was I remember this, which was they were going on the journey to the Potion Ocean, where apparently she gets most of her stuff, the ingredients for her potions, which...
Yep.
They're walking along. They walk into a cave, and Potion Nova walks through. She has wings on. They come on the outside. She's levitating. No wings.
No wings.
That was the most egregious one.
It's just... it's definitely worrisome. I know we talked earlier that there was some sound and mixing issues, and we thought that may have been possibly through the distributors.
Yep.
Because they also do some mixing. But now we're seeing all these animation errors.
This thing was rushed.
Yeah, it was rushed and there's not enough QA. It's like, I get it. They're short episodes, so it's not as big of a budget thing going on. Pony Life has obviously never been intended to be a big budget production. It's not like the
Yeah.
actual, Friendship is Magic ones. They're short episodes, low ticket items, low budget, but please put a little bit more effort into it. Just because low budget, I know you don't have as much time
That
to
probably
do
might be it.
things,
It's just
but
simply they don't have time to fix it. They see it, but we don't have time or money to fix it.
could be. But it does really hurt things. Please find. I mean, it's really hard to say find more budget right now because everyone's hurting for budget.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it really does hurt the overall feel of the episodes because it feels like they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
Executives probably
But-
don't care.
Yeah, well, they're CEOs who get paid huge amounts of money to not care. But it starts to give the feeling like the animators don't care. I doubt that's the case.
That's what we're-
Rarely do you find someplace where the animators and writers just don't care.
Yeah. I just remembered something I was thinking about like a week ago or something in my head about Pony Life, and I just remember I think my biggest thing is, despite the fact there's a continuity and stuff, Pony Life often feels just kind of too. The biggest problem, again, I've always said, is the shortness hurts it a lot. The shortness of the episodes really hurt it, and my whole thing was like, and I think this is actually, there's already some inspiration there, but I almost feel like, you know what? Have everyone who's writing for this go watch old episodes of Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's how because those were all real short. But what they did with these long, and they're kind of somewhat doing it here, which is they have these long continuous stories. And the thing is, with those short bits, and they didn't have like beginning, middle, end stuff because it was all one chunk of a larger story. And I think they can do that here and just have these really goofy, nonsensical stories and be okay with it, but still have a larger thing going on. And then, okay, these 5-minute chunks. That way you don't have to, it doesn't have to have a resolution because it's just a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would work out better in the long run for this thing. You can still do, because Rocky and Bullwinkle's not at all serious. Ever. It was ridiculous. And it knew it.
I'm not certain if I ever really watched Rocky and Bullwinkle. I knew of its existence. I knew what it was, but I don't know if I ever had a chance to really watch it.
I watched it. It was ridiculous. Like the other thing was its jokes were constant. It was just constantly making dumb puns and stuff, but you were laughing because they were really well timed. It's like you had just enough time to recognize there was a joke there, laugh at it, and then once you're done, hey, look, there's another one already. Right? It was really well done in that regard, and like just this one, it feels like the pacing of the jokes is off, and the fact that they feel like they have to have every episode have a beginning, middle, end really hurts it, because you have 5 minutes to tell that story versus they had like 3 or 4 minutes to tell those, and they made it work because each one just led into the other. And sometimes there wasn't even a 100% solid continuity. Just they're here now, but whatever, it worked because we just.
It's like a fever dream.
And again, I'm pretty sure that because a lot of the art style of this, like for the backgrounds, really is reminiscent of that sort of thing, of the Rocky and Bullwinkle art style from back then. So they know of it, and I think they're trying to emulate it a bit, but they're also trying to do a very much more everything somewhat self-contained as well, and that doesn't work as well for 5-minute shorts like this if you're doing this longer form.
I wonder if they're like being told to do that.
Yep. Because
who's the director on these? Not the writers, but the actual like overall director.
I don't know.
Because I've seen that, and I think I've mentioned this before. My memory is horrible. We may have actually mentioned it last episode, because I vaguely remember talking about trying to do short pieces of a whole arc. I've seen examples of this in other shows. Mm-hmm. One that constantly comes to mind for me is Andromeda.
Oh.
Which I know you've watched.
Yes, I have.
We watched it together. One of the things that happened when that first started, the original director wanted this. It was a serial. There's a big story arc, and every episode continues the arc. But partway through, the director changed, and the director said, "No, we're not doing that.
Right.
Everyone has to be self-contained while we do this overall arc for the purpose of making it easier for newcomers to watch the episodes.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or not is a completely different discussion, but that may be something that's going on here.
Perhaps.
Maybe an executive has said that, no, you have to be
The thing
contained.
about Rocking Bullwinkle is you could just jump in. The way the stories are set up, you could often just jump right in the middle and still have a good time. Because they also did the very, they had like 5 or 10 second long recaps. Like, when we last left our heroes, it's like 5 seconds, we just move forward.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if the reason we're seeing these completely self-contained start, middle, end is because someone told them they have to do it that way.
And my thing,
and that like you're seeing that they're wanting to. Yeah, like you're like you've said, you seem to be seeing the writers want to do stuff like that, but they're not. And I'm wondering if the writers know about it, they want to do it, but they're being told to do it a different way. Who knows? I don't know. We're both of us are just kind of spitballing here.
Yeah, I'm looking. The thing is, they have multiple directors, and I don't seem to see any
that also doesn't help.
But they all have different tasks. Like, they have the music director and the casting director. Story editor is Whitney Rawls. Apparently, she's overall in the story, and then you got producers like Stephen Davis and Peter Lewis. So I don't know.
Yeah, Whitney's written a few episodes.
Yeah, I'm trying to find if I can see a overall director.
Whitney and Katie. I've written a lot.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any just show director. I don't know. I'm getting a little worried. I'm trying to get into criticizing it for what it's not for instead of what it is. But
yeah, because that's a tough one because there's so many things it could be and that it isn't.
I'm trying to keep it in the vein of what it is now, but trying to make it better. Rather than, no, I want to be a totally lore-driven, long, serious adventure thing. And it's like, that's not what I'm asking for. I'm still asking for goofy short things, but I think you can do it better.
Right. Yeah, that is a big thing to keep in mind when looking at stuff like this. Is we all want different things and want stuff out of something, but just because it isn't what you want doesn't mean it's bad if it's something else. Don't try and make something that it isn't.
Yeah.
Also, good life advice. Don't try and be someone you're not.
Yep. Anyway, that's our bi-weekly Pony Life weird discussion, which is not so much about the episodes particularly so much as the thing as a whole. We just add more.
Well, because there's really not enough in every specific episode.
Yeah, but we just keep adding more to that big discussion. So, I don't know, maybe we'll finally get to a reasonable conclusion by the end of the season.
Funny thing, silver lining, it's at least giving us something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if they were just really short. Yeah,
like
that was really funny.
Like the shorts, where we just kind of for 3 minutes and then moved on.
Yeah. Like Rocky and Bullwinkle stuff would be great, but how much could we actually discuss about them?
Quite a bit, actually. If it was like a lot like that, I say
because that's like just because it is also a thing. Like, even if these were really good, if they're just completely short and not a huge amount to them, yeah, they're really funny. Could we discuss them?
Because of Rocky and Bullwinkle, there was very much a story overall, so there was that thing.
Yeah. But I do know that does sometimes come up, like with our music discussions for fan content. There's a lot of really good songs that I don't feature just because
I don't know what to say.
I don't know. They're really good. I like them, but it's like, it's a trance song.
Yeah.
I love trance. I don't know how to talk about it.
Good way to vibe.
It's good. Okay. Move on.
Speaking of music and fan content, what else? Yeah, we're going to do have fan content stuff to talk about. You have a song, so go ahead and take it away.
I do have a song. This one's a bit interesting. It is part of an upcoming album. This is Vylet Pony's Medley of Visions. Yes, like I said, this is part of an upcoming album. It's another one of those big projects that she does. I absolutely love this song. It is a 20-minute song. but it is really, really good. It's sort of broken up into multiple movements, so it's sort of like multiple songs in the same song, but it also tells part of a story. This whole album is part of a whole story. Album is Super Pony World Fairy Tales, so similar to the earlier albums that were like the Starship Ponyville. Continues that sort of thing. Each song tells a story as part of a larger story, and it is just so good. There's so many different pieces to it. Like in the first movement, there's just there's so many different things I want to talk about. It's hard to get to all of them. There's so many different parts and the different styles and different movements within it. It never gets boring. 20-minute song, but it never gets boring or repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a medley,
Yeah.
so it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
The vocal work that Vylet does, the instrumentals, every bit of it is just on point. I love the musical style. I love the sound design. So some certain points, especially in the first movement, kind of remind me of a Porter Robinson sort of sound design, and I absolutely love that. It's great. There's this key change about 4 minutes in that I also absolutely love. I love key changes. The opening bit of the second movement, things get very different and have this sort of jazzy walking bass line and upright and stuff that's absolutely amazing. About halfway through, it switches into this like retro, almost 16-bit, like a Genesis or SNES style.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely incredible. And at the end, it starts getting dark and hard, and it builds to this really awesome ending crescendo. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Because it's a medley, of course it feels like a mashup of several songs. And in fact, I wasn't sure if it was like maybe like some weird version of like all the songs from the album, because I didn't know the context or anything, but I was wondering if like the songs from the album mashed together or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes they do that, and Vylet has done like album previews where they'll do that, but this is actually one of the songs on the album.
Yeah. But yeah, it's got sometimes got, I remember in the beginning, there was a couple times it had that weird kind of a glitchy sound to it because of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, hey, look, sometimes it sounds like it's coming from a Mario soundtrack. Gee, I wonder.
Super Pony World.
Yeah, it's pretty great, but yeah, it's long.
It is long, but it's good.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to actually come out, and I believe there's actually a fanfic that's going with it too.
Of course.
Which is like Starship Ponyville.
Right. So that's the music.
That is the music.
And moving on to fanfiction, I have a new one. No new updates, though. Nothing updated in the last few weeks, but a new fanfic, finally, after a month. Yes. This one is called Out of This World by Mouse Deer. Apparently, it's their first story. But it's about an alternate universe thing in which the events of the Canterlot wedding from season 2 go different, in that Chrysalis pretty much wins. And then, oh hey, the mirror opens and she finds out about this world, or Twilight goes to this world to get help from, because apparently Celestia said go get Sunset Shimmer, and yeah, then Chrysalis starts invading this human world as well. That's the setup.
Yeah.
Twilight going to Sunset, who at this point, remember, is still evil, I guess, or sort of.
Yeah,
evil.
She's still a bad pony.
She's still not a good pony in this, and having to try to convince her to help, even though Sunset has no real horse in this race. Except, well, oh crap, Chrysalis might actually make things bad for her too. So now she kind of has to help.
But does she?
Does she? That's the other thing. Yeah, Chrysalis does the good old Satan devil temptation thing. Hey, listen, you should help me.
Which is weird, because Sunset offered that first, and Chrysalis said no.
Yeah, first, but now it's like,
then things have changed.
Yep. Situation has changed. But anyway, there's a lot of things in here that clearly a bit of Body Snatchers influence going on and whatnot. And the good old you don't know who you can trust, blah blah blah. But yeah, Twilight and Sunset also, I guess, somewhat coming to some understandings about each other. But at this point, they're still in the very much somewhat antagonistic phase. Somewhat, but not. The good old antagonists working together thing.
Frenemies.
Yeah, frenemies. Sort of.
You're a bad pony, but that doesn't mean you can't be a hero.
Yep. That's the whole thing. And also now apparently Princess Celestia is now showing up.
Yes, the Celestias.
Yep. It's interesting for sure. I'm actually really intrigued by this one.
I'm definitely intrigued. I definitely want to see where this goes. I'm enjoying it so far. You mentioned that this is their first fic.
That's what they said, yeah. And also
Okay,
it says one story here.
Yep. I'll give a little bit of grace, because there were a handful of typos in some spots.
Yeah.
Like, that sentence was not typed correctly.
Yeah.
Or that word was missing. That was the wrong person that was talking. Like, there was a scene where...
Yes, I remember that one.
I think with Chrysalis and the sirens. And Sunset just randomly was mentioned.
Whoops.
Like, that was supposed to be Adagio, I think.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
There's a couple point like that, but it's not major.
Yep. Yeah, there's the other thing. Sirens are here.
Also, the sirens are here. So far, that's about how it is, too, because, well, they made a mistake.
It looks like a bunch of evil plans are crashing into each other, and oh boy.
They made an oopsie-whoopsie.
Yep. Yeah, and also the author says eventual sunlight. So that's another thing for me.
Oh, is it going to be enemies to lovers?
Of course, I love that. I will always love that. That is the best. I don't care. It's like, you'll tell me something about something, that sounds boring. They go from enemies to lovers, I'm in.
You had my attention. Now you have my interest.
You didn't even figure they had my attention. It's like, whatever. That sounds pretty generic. They go from enemies to lovers. Tell me more. Yeah, it also looks like it could be a bit of a slow burn, so that's the other thing. So, and also, the good thing is finally some original sunlight, not sci-twi.
Yeah.
Finally. It's been forever since I've seen that. Of course, there's another one going on, which I have my eyes on, too. May have to feature that sometime, too. But yeah, as of right now, it is not finished. It is 32,000 words long. Let's see, it's 7 chapters long at this point.
Please don't let our curse take effect.
Yeah, please do not.
Please do not let our curse take effect.
Update at least twice a month at this point, so there's that. So hopefully that will continue to be the case. Yeah, I'm going to checking it out. It's very interesting. A nice little what if story. For basically Sunset being unredeemed Sunset being forced to be the hero. Maybe, probably considering.
Maybe probably.
I mean, considering the fact that this person intends to go Sunlight, probably will be the hero.
Yeah,
she's tempted by Chrysalis.
I mean, if we're going to assume that it's going to be Sunlight and we're going to have an enemies to lovers, there's only 2 ways that can go.
Yep.
Either Sunset becomes the hero and saves the day and joins forces with good.
Yep. Or
Twilight goes evil as well.
That's hard to imagine.
Which, don't think that's going to happen.
Unless. Well, that was a swerve. But anyway, I'm very much been enjoying it, and I recommend checking it out.
It is good.
Yep. So that's the fanfic, which means that's the end of this episode.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you could check out past and future episodes at pony411.libsyn.com. Again, it's spelled Libsyn if you want to check out the stuff there. And yep, you can find us there and, subscribe via the RSS feed, all that stuff there. And also there's a whole bunch of buttons near the top of the page, which, hey, look, all these things can tell you various ways to, subscribe. There's apparently Deezer. That's a thing.
I remember Deezer. I remember what Deezer came from. I remember using like music.org or something like that ended up becoming it back in high school.
There's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, which is being retired, Google Podcasts, which is a new thing, and YouTube. You can search for Pony411 on any of those, or just go to, youtube.com/Pony411 on that last one, and, like, comment, subscribe there. Notification bells on that one, because that's a thing still. And apparently they're actually ending email alerts for subscription videos, which I know is going to affect you a bit. Because they said barely anyone uses this. We're just going to kill it.
I use YouTube subscription email notices all the time.
Well, you are an edge case. Congratulations.
Wonderful. That'll make things difficult.
So that's a thing. But yeah, you can find us on all those places and subscribe and, listen to us as we continue to do this pony thing, as the nightmare ride will never end.
You can check out anytime you want.
Yeah.
But you can never leave.
If you also want to contact us, we have email. It's pony411podcast@gmail.com. If you got questions, comments, criticisms, what do you think of Pony Life so far? What do you think of the comics that just came out? Or not? Are you in the weird same book? I've noticed a lot of comments of the same effect of like, yeah, Pony Life is kind of odd. I don't know. I'm still watching though, I guess.
Some people really do like it,
Yep.
and more power to them.
Yep. I also see someone who's like, yeah, I'm still watching it, but I'm not sure about it either. So it's like, yep, I get you. Yeah, so you could, just there. If you have news, or whatever, you have some pony thing you want to share with the world, and just tell us about it. Cool.
Rant and rave on our review videos.
God. Oh God, yeah, that was fun. But yeah, you can also find us on Facebook.com/pony411. Like us there, see the new episodes that come out, and that's pretty much all we use that for. And occasionally, I guess, convention pictures, although that's not happening right now.
Yeah.
If 2020 wasn't 2020, we would have had pictures of Everfree up probably at this point.
Possibly.
But well, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at Pony411. You'll see us there. We'll, tweet out the new episodes. Sometimes pony related, whatever, or just nonsense. We'll retweet our other podcast, New to Weeaboo, because that's a thing. Which, well, that one we accidentally wandered into some discourse on that one, that's for sure. Dude, without realizing until, during the editing process.
Oh no.
But yeah, those are the places. You can also follow us on personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alca7raz with 77T and an underscore at the end. I put out some Transformer reviews because that's what I do. You'll probably see cute Rainbow Dash and or Scootaloo pictures on his if he retweets it.
Yep. About all that happens.
Yeah, so that's it for this episode. Join us in a couple weeks. We'll still be talking about Pony Life. Maybe, I don't think the more comics will be coming out for another month or so. Yeah. So probably just more Pony Life, whatever. If anything big happens in the fandom, that will be a thing. Or not.
Yep.
Depending. I can't predict the future. If I did, I would have told myself, I would have been prepared for a lot more.
God, if you could even if you could have predicted what was going to happen this year, would you have been able to stop it?
No, not stop it. At least prepare for it.
I don't even know what I could have prepared for. So much of the stuff that's happening is outside of my control. So much
toilet paper, wall-to-wall toilet paper.
Oh God, that's the least of the problems now. God, it's just like, if you knew what was going to happen, you could warn people. Like that would have helped. You see how people are reacting now when we tell them, "Hey, we need to do this," and they don't.
Yep. Anyway, that's it for this one. Join us next time. But until then, though, please pony responsibly. See ya.
See ya.